All right. Hey, what's going on? Today we're going to talk about the real reasons why some teachers return to the classroom after they have decided to exit the classroom. So, I want us to think about what happens when we decide as educators we're going to spread our wings, we're going to do something different, we're going to take a different voyage and leave a system, leave a job, leave a career that we no longer found fulfilling, that was no longer fulfilling us, that was no longer providing what it is that we needed it to provide. And we're also going to think about when you left teaching, what was it that you were thinking about and why have you found your way back? So, if that's you, this conversation is for you. There are a lot of consultants, there are a lot of people, educators who have left for different reasons. Perhaps you left for health reasons, perhaps you left because you moved or you wanted to pursue new adventures, whatever it might be. Did you end up back in the classroom? And if why, if you did, why? So let me know in the comments if you left or if you're considering leaving and why you ended up back in the classroom. And I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why, as well as give you strategies on how to prevent that. Hey there, Takenya. Hey, what's going on? We're going to have a really good discussion because a lot of times we don't know what we don't know until after the fact. And so we have more discussions about this with people who have left, who have made successful transitions out, and why they haven't gone back. Then we can begin to plan and put things in place for ourselves appropriately. So let's get into it. Okay, so again, this conversation, she said she shared this with her fellow educator friends. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, please share, folks. Please share because I'm going to tell you, y'all know I work in truth and honesty and transparency. And so some of this might step on your toes. You might get, your toes might get ran over a little bit, but that's okay because that's right, Sidra. It's better to have a plan and to understand and to even be able to reflect back and be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I may have fallen into that, or I need to re-examine. And for some of us, it requires taking a second leap. Like you took the leap and now you're back, and maybe you feel like you were forced to go back. Maybe you feel like you are now trapped in the system. None of us should be feeling trapped because we all have options. So whether you left to be a consultant, whether you left to start your own business, whether you left to go to another job, whatever the reason that you left, that should be the focal point, because many times we begin to romanticize. But one of the first things, I'm going to talk to consultants on this first one. On this first one, I'm going to talk to those people who left and you said, I'm going to monetize my expertise and I am going to use the same expertise I was using in the school system. I'm going to use that expertise and make money on my own. The number one reason that that does not work is because many times when we decide to do that, we're looking for others to hand us contracts. So we will go and we will talk to other consultants and we'll say, well, if you're looking for somebody to subcontract for you, if you ever need help, I'm here. Or there will be people coming to you offering you work and you will take the work. Or you will decide to work for an education company who allows you to work on a 1099, and all of that is fine. Listen to me, it's a great way to make money. But you got to have another plan. Like that cannot be your only source of income, because at any point that they change their mind, any point that something happens and they rip that work away from you, now you're back to square A. And guess what? Now the only thing that's looking good is heading back to the classroom. Number two, we won't offer our services or our solution. So we know that we want to leave, we have planned to leave, or we have left, and we won't offer our services or solution. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about them, but that's not an offer. Having a conversation about what it is you do is not an offer. That's not an offer. And so we sit back and we wait. We don't want to seem pushy. We don't want this to seem salesy. We don't want it to make it seem like we're desperate and need help. We have all of these mental blocks set up in our head. But I'm going to tell you one of the bigger issues. I'm going to tell you one of the bigger issues. And at this point, I've worked with over 1,000 women. I'm on my way to 2,000 strictly educators. I'm not talking about people who work corporate jobs or regular jobs. I'm talking about strictly educators. I'm well over my 1,000 number mark and closing in on 2,000 women. When I say to them, have you built your email list? A resounding 80% of them say no. I'm going to let that sink in. A resounding 80% will say no. I don't have an email list, or I have a small email list. I have an email list of about 300. I got an email list of 500 people. And every program you've been in, everything that you see, everybody has an email list. Why does Nike have an email list? Why does Walmart need an email list? Walmart is all over the world. Why on earth would they need an email list? Your neighborhood store, they want your email. If everybody's wanting your email, why do you think that you don't need to build an email list? You need to be able to communicate with your customer, with your client, and with your potential clients. And you get that through an email list. And so, right now, ask yourself, have you built your email list? And if we can be honest in the chat, we got folks on here with us. Give me a hey, what's up? What's going on? If you're with me live, thank you for joining me today. And go ahead and smash that thumbs up button for me, because I got some strategies for you. Hang in there with me, baby. I got you covered today. But give me a thumbs up and tell me in the comments, have you built your email list? Here's the big one. We will treat the new thing like a side hustle. We'll treat our new thing like a side hustle. And so when we talk about we've left the school system, we didn't want that. We've decided to build our own, whatever that thing is. Maybe you decided I'm going to do a t-shirt company. Maybe you decided I'm going to do consulting. Maybe you've decided I'm going to sell insurance. Maybe you've decided whatever the thing is. And then you treat it like a side hustle. You spend an hour, maybe 2 hours a day on it. You don't do anything daily in it. You will do a lot of task stuff. I'm going to write the email. I'm going to tinker with my logo. I'm going to fix this website. I'm going to make sure that I have all of my links on my Instagram. I'm going to go live. 10, 15 times a day. Is that, we got to ask ourselves, is that bringing business into our business? For some of us, it may. For others, it may not. It's not a one size fits all type of situation. She says, you are speaking truths. Okay. So we got to treat our business like a business. You went to work every day and you worked 8 hours each day, 7 in the school system. You took a 30, 40 minutes, an hour to get there, an hour to get back. You show up for everybody else, but you're not showing up for you and the thing that you want to build. And that doesn't mean that we're going to put ourselves on this rigid schedule, because that's the next thing that we're going to talk about. We don't know how to unboss ourselves. We have been so accustomed to having a boss. This is why we end up back in the school system. We've been so accustomed to having a boss that we don't know how to boss ourselves. We don't know how to unboss ourselves, to let go of the idea that somebody needs to tell you exactly what to do every single day in order for you to get things done, that somebody has to be standing over you, or there has to be some type of punishment that will be rendered if you don't do the thing. So if you think about in the school system, and most of us have had a boss most of our lives. At home, we had our parents who were bossing us. And then when we got into our relationships, we depended on that person to boss us, to tell us what to do. We go to them for permission. We ask them their opinion. They give us direction. So when I'm talking about bossing, I'm talking about people giving you direction, telling you what it is you need to do, and giving you nods of approval and permission. And we have to get out of the habit of needing that. And so we have to learn how to unboss ourselves. We want to continue with the same schedule. We want to continue with the same routine, the same mindset. We want to continue to talk to our same friends, show up at the same places, eat the same meals, and be the same person that we were when we were in the school system, although we are out of the school system. Sidra is the only one who says my email list is small. I need to be more focused on growing it. Because again, I ask you, like, why is it that we won't build the email list? Because the email list doesn't give you instant gratification. When we are that should be the number one thing that we're doing, because those are people who have said, me, I'm interested in your services. Maybe not today, but I am a potential ideal client. So when we're dealing with our email list, what are we doing? We're creating a freebie, a lead magnet, something that we're giving them for free. We're making a gesture to show that we're the expert at the thing that we do. And we're telling them this is a quick solution to a problem that you're having. Let me give it to you for free. And you give it to them for free. And you say, if this works for you, or if you like this content, come and join me for more. And so now they've had a dose of you. They know, they got the feel for how you work. Hey there, Dr. Marquita. Hey. So they know you. They got a feel for how you work. And maybe they're not ready for you today. Maybe they're not ready today. But maybe they're going to be ready in 30 days. Maybe they're going to be ready in 60 days. Right now, I'm working with a leader in a school system, and he's already said, Dr. D, I'm not ready for you today. And to be quite honest, he said, I'm not ready for you today because I know you're intense and I don't have the time in my schedule. He said, but I definitely want to work with you. So keep me in the loop, because once I get through this return from January, I want to connect with you so that we can work together. Well, what do? I put them in my email list so that as I'm sending out stuff, I'm steady coming up, and then I'm adding him onto my follow-up schedule. However, how did he even contact me? Because he came to a webinar that I did about leadership, and I was explaining to him how to work with the people that you don't like, that you don't get along with. Because as leaders, we still have to work with people that we don't like. When you know that you have that person in your building who creates problems, is toxic, is negative, guess what? You still got to work with them. And they should know that you don't like them. They should not know that. And so when I did the webinar on it, he was there in that webinar, and he's like, oh, I got several of those here. I'm new to this district. These folks is over here clowning. It's several of them I don't like. I need to work with you, but I got these other priorities going. So he's on my email list. And so we have to build that email list, and we have to nurture that email list, because those are our potential customers. Those are the people who raise their hand to say, me, I got that problem. They've already said that. So now all you have to do is nurture them. But again, that's part of the reason why we end up back in the classroom, because we don't have potential clients to market our services to. And then the next part was about unbossing ourselves, being able to be the boss of ourselves, having discipline, knowing how to say no to the things that we need to say no to, and when to say yes to the things that we need to say yes to. And we don't need to say yes to every single thing. But also having boundaries with our family members and our friends, having boundaries with our children. Can we be honest? Like, a lot of us, we will drop everything that we're doing for our kids because we feel like we cannot let them down, when you're letting them down by making them struggle and have to live a life that's less than because you won't set a boundary. because you haven't dealt with your childhood trauma of what our parents did to us. And keep in mind, our parents did the best that they could with what they had, and they were in a different time and a different set of tensions that we are not experiencing at this time. Because I'm not saying we're not experiencing anything. I'm saying what was happening in 1960, 1970, 1980, that's not our reality in 2024. And so we cannot raise our kids with that same level of expectation, with that same understanding. So we got to set some boundaries with our children. Sidra, y'all, if y'all want to know if I'm still on task, I am. You see, I got my water. I'm still on task. Okay. I told y'all part of my accountability, whether you like it or not. So the next thing, what we won't pay or spend any time to market our services. We think that when we go on social media and we say something, that we are marketing our services and we are making sales. We think that likes and thumbs up equate to sales. They do not. They do not. And so, what are you doing to market your services? And there's so many strategies to be able to market your services, but many of us, we want to sit at home or wherever we're at, and we want to do the things that we want to do and not have a clear understanding of the things that we need to do. Let's talk about what does marketing our services look like? And what does it mean to put yourself out there? Or are you afraid to put yourself out there? How many pitches have you made to other people to be on their podcast? How many? In the last 30 days, let's be honest, let's get real. We're in February. We just finished the whole month of January. In the 31 days in January, how many pitches did you make to podcast creators who have your audience to be on their podcast? How many? Y'all tell me in the chat. How many conferences did you apply to be speakers at in order to put yourself in front of your potential client? How many? How many response for proposals did you submit in the last 31 days in order to bid on work? How many? How many networking events did you go to get to know other business owners, to get to know other people, to share your expertise, and to build your social connection? How many? Let's put it in the chat, because there were 31 days in January. How many pitches did you make to the local media in your town to talk about your product, service, or program, the solution that you offer? How did you make it relevant to the news media? How did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Kenya says she applied to one conference, and with the help of ChatGPT and all of the AI tools, we can apply to at least 10 conferences per month. 10, because half of the work is done for you. ChatGPT is going to do it for you. Now, do you have to put some brain power behind it? Absolutely. So think in batches of 10. Think in batches of 10. For every 10 conferences you submit to, you will be accepted to speak at one. And we've had a great run for every 10 that we submit to, because we are refined. I'm talking about our Educators Moving On community. We are refined. We know our stuff. So we're getting accepted to 3 out of every 10 that we submit to. I got folks right now who can't make it to my event because they've been accepted to speak at a conference coming up on February 24th, 25th. Dr. Marquita says she's submitted, and Dr. Marquita is on it. She said 3 conferences. She said 0 podcasts, 2 responses to info about services, and 2 proposals submitted directly to school leaders. Now tell me, do y'all think Marquita likely gonna end up with a contract out of all this? Because she's doing the things. See, she's not gonna end up back in the school system. Dr. Marquita, how many years have you been out of the school system? Can you tell us? Next thing. So let me go back to this. I said we won't pay or spend time to market. Now I'm gonna say this. Dr. Marquita been out. I don't know how long she's been out, but at this point, she should be able to pay for a little marketing. And let me give y'all a little social media game. Let me give y'all a little social media game for those who don't know it. It's okay to use those influencers to help you. You need to go to where your market is. If they're on one of those pages and those pages have 300,000, 500,000 followers, and you are able to position an ad or something about your company on that page, that doesn't mean that their 500,000 followers are going to see it. It simply means that a portion of them, even if 10% of them see it, that's 50,000 people who saw it. Would you have access to 50,000 people? And out of that 50,000, if only 10% come and joins your Instagram page, you just got 5,000 new followers. You just got 2,000 new followers. Even if you get 100 new followers, if you make one sale out of that 100 new followers, that paid for that marketing campaign. You see what I'm saying? And these influencers, that are, and they're not even influencers, they're people who have done the work just like you and I, and they're not charging a lot. One of the pages that I marketed on for this particular work is Millionaire Moms Club. I went to Millionaire's Moms Club. Y'all, it was $45 to get a spot on there. And I just created a post providing value, not trying to sell them something, just providing value. And from that, I got over 100 followers on my Instagram page. Guess what? They were mostly teachers. They were mostly teachers because teachers are what? They are moms. They are just moms who work in the school system. So you have to be willing to pay to market your services. Organic marketing is amazing. It's absolutely amazing because we now have social media. We have forums like this that I'm using right now, YouTube. But again, you got to build that platform. Like right now, I only have 200 followers on YouTube. And so what did I do? I went to my Instagram. I told them I'm going live. I went to my Facebook. I told them I'm going live. When I get through with this, I'm going to send it to my over 10,000 people email list. And then I'm going to ask people to share it for me. And so there's the follow-up work. Like we cannot think that things are going to be automatic for us. Okay, so Dr. Marquita says she's been out for 7 years. Sidra says tip, apply to 10 conferences, podcasts, and RFPs each month. Right. Because you got to think about it in batches. And if you know what your goal is, it's easier to get to that goal. But it's the law of numbers, people. Y'all, we're educators, we're adults, we're professionals. We understand numbers. If you only apply to one, if they deny you, then you have no chance. But if I apply to 10, I got 10 opportunities as opposed to one. If I apply to 30, that's 30 opportunities to get a yes instead of counting on one opportunity to get a yes that could be a no. Out of my 30, I'm pretty confident somebody's going to see the value in what I offer. It's going to be the solution that they've been looking for, and they are going to respond back. So Dr. Marquita says she's been out for 7 years. Hey, we got the IEP coach with us. Hey, y'all hit that thumbs up button and share this live with people because there are some educators who need to hear this. Dr. Marquita said one of the requests I received was from a podcast interview last October. And remember, podcasts, they don't die. They go on and on and on and on. So people will go back and will consume old content because it's new to them. So that's absolutely amazing. Dr. Marquita says that's a tip, pay for marketing on larger platforms. Yes, because we can't just wait to build our own platform. Like we need to use, and I'm giving y'all the keys to the castle right now. All right, the next one. This is one. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? We quit too soon. Who told you it was time to quit? Did you get tired? And when you got tired, this is what I tell myself when I get tired, because I get tired too. I do. I get tired too. I say, I'm going to do one more day. I'm going to do one more RFP. I'm going to do one more podcast. I'm going to submit one more proposal. I'm gonna have one more networking event just to keep me going to that next day, because more than likely I was just in my feelings. And then I go back to my why. Why did I quit? See, a lot of us, we leave the door open. And so that's why we're able to go back into the classroom, because we left that door open. We didn't close the door. It's just like when you break up with your ex-boyfriend, you broke up with him, but you still text him every day, and he still call you on your birthday, and you still call to check on his mama, and you're leaving the door open to let him know we're still cool. You can still come back a little bit if you want to. He's still calling you on your birthday. He's still wishing you Valentine's Day. You didn't close that door. You need to close that door. All roads need to be cut off. We quit too soon because all it takes is one. Let me tell you, it's been too many times I've been considering, like, I'll be like, oh, this is hard. Maybe I'll just go ahead and apply for this assistant superintendent job. It'll pay me $150,000 a year. At least I'll know my schedule. And then one little thing will happen. The last time I had that thought, I got a call and they said, girl, guess what? I was like, what? And she was like, girl, they accepted our proposal. We got the big contract. I was like, are you kidding? All it takes is one. All it takes is one thing, one call, one change. Think about it. You quit today, you were one step away from what it needed to be. It was on its way to you. You didn't have the chance. But why are you quitting? Do you quit when you're all in? Like when you had kids, did you say, I'm quitting when they get 18? Did you say that? When you got married, did you say, "Oh, I'm gonna quit when I'm gonna quit in 12 years"? No, we're all in, and then when we decide that it's time to quit, do we quit or do we move to the next thing? See, a lot of us, we don't know that it's okay to pivot. You don't have to quit. Like a lot of times the signs are there. You're trying to do this thing, but people keep calling you for this thing. But you insist on doing this thing, but the money is over here for this thing. You insist on doing this other thing. Nobody told you to do that. It's just what you like to do. One of the things that I like to say, let me see, she said, and you have to have, yeah, you have to have community. Oh, girl, we got to talk about that. Yes, Jamila. She said, yeah, 7 years feels like a long time sometimes from where I am, but I know I can't go back. Absolutely. And sometimes it ain't even the why, it's the why not. Like people always tell you it's about that why. I believe that it's about that why not. She says community helps in those tough days. Absolutely. And it is, to Kenya, it is the power of one. The power of one. All it takes is one. It takes one phone call, one contract, one networking event. I'm telling you, I will be at the point where I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen if I don't get something in. And then I'll do one thing. But the difference is I did something and not just sitting back twiddling my thumbs, but I knew the things I needed to do. I said, let me see what networking events I can go to. Let me see what RFPs I can respond to. Let me see what conferences I can present at. Let me see what social capital I can use. What phone calls can I make? What follow up can I do? What are the one little things that I can do? One thing can change your life. Just one thing, one call can change your life. One proposal can change your life. One conference can change your life. One time I went to a conference, I was a presenter, and my belief is that when you go to a conference, you present from the highest level. You're not scared to get them your good stuff. I gave them all of my good stuff, a real PD. I gave them a real PD. At the end of that, when I got off stage, out, it's not a stage, you're in a room. But when I came from up front and some people wanted to talk to me in the back, you go back to be social or whatever. So I went back talking to the people and I'm telling them, oh, that's a great idea. Let me show you the pictures. I was talking to them about Genius Day, implementing Genius Day in their schools. And so I was in the back just talking to them. Got home because I had to drive home from Ozarks, Missouri. Got home, I had so many emails of people saying, I love to chat with you so that you can set up a date to come to do that same presentation at my school. Can you come and talk to my instructional leadership team about this? Y'all, these people know that I don't work for free because I told them I'm transitioning full-time into my consulting company. They knew that it was a paid opportunity. I got 5 contracts from that one conference. It was only one. It was only one conference, 5 contracts. Those 5 contracts took me well over my 6-figure mark for that year. Those 5 contracts, one event netted over 6 figures for me. I think that was those 6 contracts brought me to like 125 for that year. 125. And it was probably 10 days of work at most out of those 5 contracts. So I want you to know that the power of one is real, and having community helps. Being able to talk to other business owners, which is my next point. Teachers end up back in the classroom because they continue to be in network with teachers. They continue to talk teacher talk. They continue these trauma bonds that we've had in the school system with the people who are in the school system who cannot help you. They will not network with other business owners. In order to make this work, you got to get out of the environment that you're in and network with other business owners. Think about it. When you are in the garden, reaping and sowing, y'all know the principles of reaping and sowing. When you're in the garden, reaping and sowing, if you plant that lettuce on the same row as those carrots, what is going to happen? Why is it that the stuff is planted in rows and not just random? The roots from those carrots are going to strangle that lettuce. You got to have the row filled with lettuce, and not lettuce, carrots, beets, onions, tomatoes, peppers. It's a reason why it's in rows, because you need to be around others who are doing the thing that you're doing, because they can help give you some of their juice. They can give you a little bit of their nutrients. You all are in the same type of soil. Too many of us, we want to leave the school system, still talk to our previous colleagues every day because that's what we did in the school system, still talk about all of the trauma that we had from the school system, still complain, still want to see what's going on in the school system, still want to be on the Facebook page of all of those previous teachers we were with in the school system, still want to go to the happy hour with the other teachers from the school system. Sis, you got to be with other business owners so that they can feed into you, so that when you get tired and you're about to quit, the teacher gonna tell you, girl, you can come on back to teaching. We just work 5 days a week. You be at work all the time. No, you don't. No, you don't. Teachers don't understand the life of an entrepreneur. They don't understand CEO life. They don't understand the life of a business owner. Yeah, we may work at different times during the day, but we also have flexibility over our schedule. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Is it hard? Yes. Is teaching hard? Yes. Is being in the school system hard? Yes. Is being an entrepreneur hard? Yes. Choose your hard, which is going to give you the greatest payout. School system, they already told you, you're going to work 185 days and we paying you $60,000. Entrepreneurship says you pay what you put in. You pay by the value that you deliver. You get paid based on what it is you do for other people, understanding that. So what's the payout? When I look at the payout, I can never live like this in the school system ever on earth. Even as the superintendent, I couldn't live like this. First of all, I wouldn't have the time freedom. Let me see. Sidra says, that's right. She said it's about the why, not the why. And my why not is that I will not go back. My why not is I will not be broke again. My why not is I will not be a W-2 employee again. That's my why not. That's my why not. I've had too much exposure to freedom, too much exposure to opportunities to create income. So that tip is network with other business owners. You go back into the school system because you keep networking with people in the school system, and that's not beneficial for you. Next strategy or reason why. The reason why we're not moving forward is because we keep enrolling in courses and learning about stuff that will not grow our business. It's time to stop learning and start implementing. We engage in this learning to keep from doing the thing that we need to do. The thing that we need to do is make offers. The thing that we need to do is sell our services. The thing that we need to do is ask for the sale. The thing that we need to do is network with people so that we can create social capital for ourselves. But instead, We want to enroll in courses. We want to go to classes. We want to learn about all this other stuff. We want to go out and create a business plan. This is not 1980. You do not need a business plan. Back then, they didn't have all of this online stuff. You didn't have all of this stuff accessible. And I'm just saying, we do stuff just to create a whole situation. We will tell you, we were talking about, me and this other person, we were just talking about this woman-owned certification, and it's 18 pieces of artifacts that you need to submit for it. Submit the artifacts. What are you going to a course on that for? Like, you are an educated person, you are smart, you are resourceful, you managed a classroom of 20 children, 30 children, 40 children, and taught them some significant information and know-how. And you're going to sit here and tell me that you need to go to a 2-hour course to tell you how to submit those documents. No, you're doing that to self-sabotage, to procrastinate. I talked to somebody else. She said, "Oh no, Dr. D, I'm about to take this course on how to create a course." I said, "How much you paying for that course?" She said $3,600. I said, "So you're going to pay $3,600 to learn how to create a course, but you haven't created a course, but you teach a course every day because you're a teacher, but it makes more sense for you." I said, "How many modules in that course?" She said 12. I said, "So you going to go through 12 modules when you create courses, you create curriculum. You are a teacher. You can teach that lady how to create the course." No, that's not what we doing. We got to stop steady enrolling in programs. She said, "Not you calling my car." It's not just you. This is what we do as educators, because that is a part of that self-sabotage. And I agree with the IEP coach. The IEP coach says community helps in those tough days, because you got to have a community around you to be able to say, "Sis, you self-sabotaging. You're self-sabotaging." Because instead of doing the work, we're finding other work to do. Because doing the work is, I'm getting on here and I'm pitching my services. I have a full email campaign that's set to launch. I didn't create one email. I have a full 10-part email sequence. And out of that email sequence, I'm going to check those analytics, see who's opening that email and respond back to them. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to say, "Oh, my client is over on LinkedIn. So I'm going to go on LinkedIn and do some lives over there and see if I can't make people aware of the services that I offer." But instead, we'll get a course, because in the course, you can just sit there and be invisible. Nobody knows you're in the course, and nobody's there to call you out. That's right. Jamila says, "And we pull each other's coattails and we'll check each other with love." Like, little sis, what are you doing? That's one of my favorite ones. IEP coach. I will tell my accountability partners, "You doing what? What you doing? Why are you doing that? How is that bringing money into your business?" We got one right now. She's so consumed with making posts. And we keep saying, "Why are you making posts when you got somebody trying to pay you money?" Because she doesn't want to engage in the conversation about the money, because it requires her to negotiate her services. So that's really hard for her to negotiate her services, because she feels like she's going to buckle. Well, let's deal with the issue. You need some verbiage, you need some words. Well, we have people who can help you with the words. Like, some people are better at negotiating, some people are better at pricing, and they will give you the words to say. A lot of times, even with me, if I don't know the words, I'll call and say, "I don't know the words to say. What are the words I need to say?" One of my partners just helped me last night, because I'm in the middle of negotiating a videography deal, and I didn't know the words to say, because the price that they gave me, I wasn't in agreement with it. And so she gave me the words to say. A lot of times, if we know the words to say, it'll solve part of that problem of being stuck. So we got to stop all of this learning. We got to stop all of this doing stuff to keep us from doing the real thing that we need to do. And these things are not growing our business. And we're steady sending money out the door, but you're not getting a return on investment. I would say if you're not getting a return on investment, you shouldn't be doing anything. I don't enroll in another course until I get the return on investment. I do not. Until I get my return on investment from the course or whatever it is that I'm doing, I do not. I do not. I'm not enrolled. I'm going to implement the things that they told me to implement. And then we want to change the things that people have told us to do. Do it the way they told you to do it. Figure out what worked and what didn't, and then change it. Don't try to change it ahead of time. Next. We got two more people. Two more. That's it. All right. So, not being clear on your client. Who is the client? Who is the person that you are serving? What is it that they need? You don't even know who your client is. You don't know if it's the student, if it's the teacher, if it's the administrator, if it's the superintendent, if it's the instructional coaches. You don't know if it's a struggling mom, a busy mom, a mom with multiple children. Who is your ideal client? So this is what I'm gonna give y'all a real simple process to think about this through. And it's gonna help somebody who wants to leave the classroom. Somebody who's looking to leave the classroom, don't really know if you can leave. This about to bless you, okay? I'm for real. This about getting free in February. So the first thing I want you to think about is, what are your skills, talent, and knowledge that you have? See, a lot of times we leave and we just want to do the thing that we've been doing, when we need to figure out what is it that we really want to do. What is it that we've really been blessed to be able to do? I call it your zone of genius. And so when you're in your zone of genius, then you don't have to work hard. It comes natural. Right now, I'm in my zone of genius. My genius is being able to strategize, being able to take complex things and make them really simple so that you can take actionable steps to make it happen. Notice that I didn't say that I'm a teacher, that I'm a leader, that I'm an administrator. That's a role. When I'm talking about what is your zone of genius, I am asking you, what is the skill, the talent, or the knowledge that you have that comes to you innately? It's like your superpower. So, what comes to you easily? What do people call you for? What are people calling you for? When people are calling my phone, they're calling because they need me to listen so that I can give them a strategy, so that I can help them to hear what it is they just said. Do you understand that when people are calling you, they're calling you to get you to work in your gifting? But a lot of times, because we've taken on these roles as a classroom teacher, as a corporate leader, as a school psychologist, whatever the thing is, we think that that's who we are, and that's not who we are. That's just a role that we have. Another question that I ask you is, why do people like you? Some people don't understand that your gifting is a part of your personality. I have a son who is extremely charismatic. He can get a job anywhere because we call him Baby Obama. You know how everybody loves Barack Obama? He's smooth, he's cool, he's personable, he's intelligent, he can fit into any crowd. That's my son. We call him Baby Barack. Baby, this Barack, little Barack, come on over here. When we need something in a restaurant or anywhere, we send Baby Barack because he is charismatic. That is a trait, that is a skill, that is innate. He didn't do anything to have this skill. He is just being him, and he is awesome. So let's talk about it. What experiences have you had that make you unique, that make you stand out? I talk to people, they've traveled all over internationally. They've taught in schools internationally. That's a skill. That's a trait. That's something that is to be talked about. Okay. So I also want you to think about, what are the results you've gotten? What are the results that you have gotten? We don't want to talk about these things. Like, who did you help? What did it move them to? You know, when I think about all of the results that I've gotten, I've helped women make hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of my clients' biggest contracts was $350,000 on the first go round. She made $350,000, one contract, one city contract. And this is as an educator. This was not through government contracting, because we also help you to explore government contracting as well. But this was through educational contracting. My very first time that I helped somebody, I helped a special ed teacher make $125,000 off one contract. 3 months later, she turned around, sold that same contract, an identical one, for another $125,000. She made $250,000 off of just some information that I told her on what to do. Okay. So ask yourself, what results have you gotten? Where were those results at? And what is the thing that you can talk about all day long, without running out of information, without getting tired, without feeling like you're being repetitive? What is the thing that you can talk about all day long? Baby, I can talk about living your dream life all day long. All day long. I can talk about living by design, not by default, why we succumb to things, why we let these societal pressures keep us down. I can talk to you all day about how our past as Black women have kept us playing small, the impact that race and racism has had on us, the traumatic effect that it has had on us, what we have in turn done to our children unknowingly, what our parents have done to us unknowingly. We work with what we have at that time. When we know better, we do better. I can talk to you all day about living your dream life. I can talk about what the dream looks like. I can help you work through developing that dream. I can tell you all about my dream life, about how I'll be in Aruba in just a few days here, how I'm going to be on the beach, how I love creating courses and things for you all to absorb so that you can live your dream life. What is it that you can talk about all day long? What is it? And why are you not talking about it? And why are you not getting paid for it? Okay. I'm still on your ideal client. I'm getting to that. But we can't know who our ideal client is if we're talking about the wrong stuff. Okay. And then what do people say you're really good at? What do people say that you're really good at? And let me give y'all a little hint on this. A lot of times the thing that people call you for and that they say you're really good at is the thing that you a lot of times get in trouble for. As a kid, you got in trouble for it. As an adult, you got in trouble for it. I get in trouble for telling the truth. Yep. Yep. I get in trouble for telling the truth. People don't like it when I'm transparent. People don't like it when I communicate clearly. They don't like it. Because I will tell you, it takes more energy and more work for me to tell you the truth than it does for me to tell you a lie. I can tell you a lie and make you feel better and be just fine. But if I love you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Like I'm not going to lie to my sons. I'm not going to lie to my friends. I'm not going to lie to my parents because I love them. And if I say I love y'all, I'm going to tell y'all the truth too. When I was in the school system, I love my kids. I had 392 students and I love them kids. They love me. I knew every kid's name. When they come down the hall, I spoke to every kid by name. I knew their families. I was in a generational school district. Many times we knew the mama, we knew her mama, we knew where they worked, we knew their background. I love those people. So why am I sit and lie to you? That's not what love is. That's not what my mama taught me love is. And that's not the love that I want to display. And so it is true that sometimes the truth hurts, but the delivery of the truth doesn't have to hurt. The delivery doesn't have to hurt. Some people do things mean-spirited, and some people do things that are hurtful. People do not come in contact with me and say, Dr. D said that and she was being mean. Dr. D said that to hurt my feelings. You will not hear that. Because if I don't love you, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to move on about my day. I'm going to let it be. You can sit there, you can ask all the advice you want. I'm moving over to the other side of the room. Because I already know you're not going to understand what I'm saying to you because I'm giving it to you from a place of love. She said, these are gems. Thank you for sharing. I'll definitely follow. I need change. This is all confirmation. There it is. Fierce and fabulous. And that's right. Be fierce and fabulous. I love that. So what do people say you're really good at? What is it that people say you are really good at? My phone rings all the time. People need to speak to me. They need me to listen. They need me to strategize with them. They need me to simplify this concept for them. They need me to walk them through this process. So I know what I'm really good at. Guess what? That's what I get paid to do. And you can too. you can get paid for it too. Next, who can you help? Like, who are the people you can help? We get so caught up in the school system. We think that the school system is the only people that we can sell our services to. And that is just not true, people. It's just not true. Who, if you know who it is that you can help, then you know where you can find them, or you can think about where you can find them. And again, if you're in a community of people, they can help you to find your people. So I was talking to a lady the other day, because I do these 15-minute free consultations. If you're interested in one, go onto my website, www.educatorsmovingon.com, and you can set up a free 15-minute consultation where I give you a coaching session, absolutely free. I don't ask you for anything. So I had a lady who called and she wanted to know this question here. I'm going to have to go back into the classroom because I can't seem to find any clients for my business. I work with students, or I help teachers with students who have neurodivergent issues, and I teach them how to help their kids to, do better in the classroom. But I also teach teachers how to gear their instruction to be able to differentiate for these types of students, right? She said, and although people are always interested in my services, I don't seem to be converting the clients in the school system, or it takes a long time in the school system. And I'm at the point where if I don't close another contract, I'm not going to be able to pay my bills, and I'm going to be back in the school system. So I'm listening to her and I'm like, okay, all right, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we got 15 minutes, right? So just tell me your problem and I'm going to give you what I think you need to do. And so I said to her, I said, okay, you keep talking about the school system. Is the school system your only client? She said, yes. And I said, well, that's the problem right there. You want to only work in the school system when the world is so much bigger than the school system. You need to be wherever your client is that you can help. So in community-based organizations, guess what? In the YMCA, they got neurodivergent students there. When they go take them gymnastics class, that gymnastics center, those trainers need to be trained on how to work with neurodivergent learners. Those dance classes where those little girls are all over the place, can't listen to the directions, and the instructor is about to lose their mind, that's because they are good at dance. They're not good at teaching. So they need you to come in and help to train the trainer on how to work with the kids. Guess what? I keep telling people, all of these places that get grant money, the domestic violence shelters, guess what? Them kids neurodivergent, they got them parents who are neurodivergent too. And quite frankly, probably a lot of us are neurodivergent, okay? And so when you go there, they have grant money that they can pay you to work, to do parent workshops. Your parent teacher association and your parent PTA, PTO, whatever it's called in your city, state, they have money. They have funds to pay you to come in to teach that thing that you do. But did you pitch to them? Did you ask them? Did you call and talk to the director? Did you send an email? Did you do anything because you thought that your only client was in the school system? It's not. You got group homes. Who's working in group homes? Regular people, 23-year-olds, 26-year-olds, 42-year-olds who got out of school, got a job, got into social services, have not had any formal training, yelling at these kids, don't know how to help them. You know how to help them, but you have not let them know who you are and how you can help. So how can you have them as a client? This is all I'm saying. Y'all know I get excited when I get to talking about this stuff. Y'all know I'm in my zone. You know this is my zone, okay? So anyway, she says, hello, my college line name is Ritalin. And so see what I'm saying? Right here, she said, I'm telling you, all of us, like, we're so accustomed to the multitask world. And now we have these kids who have grown up with computer technology in their hands, doing 5 and 6 things at a time. Y'all see it in these schools, but she thinks that the school is the only place she can get a client from. It's not. And then don't even think about the kids. Takia just said Ritalin was her name online. When she was in college, her line name was Ritalin. Guess what? It's a whole bunch of companies and HR people who need presentations on neurodivergent learners. Okay. neurodivergent teachers, neurodivergent corporate leaders, whatever the thing is, you're talking about the skill. Your audience, depending on who you're talking to, may change, but the thing that you're teaching does not. So you got to know who can you help and what problem do you want to solve? What problem are you going to help them solve? See, a lot of us, we don't even know what the problem is that we're solving. We just know what it is we want to do. What is the transformation that you're truly offering? I'm going to show you how to not do, how to complete one task at a time. This is all I'm going to show you today. It's going to take 30 minutes. I'm going to show you how to complete one task at a time while still having 5 other things to do. I'm going to show you how to deal with your anxiety of needing to do 5 things, but focusing on one while still understanding that these other 4 things need to be done. What does your brain need to do? What do you need to tell yourself? What are some strategies you can engage in? See, a lot of us don't know what our transformation is. And then you got to ask yourself, what are people paying for? Like when we talk about these are the questions that I asked this person. So when we talk about these neurodivergent learners, who are they going to? What is someone who's doing that type of work? How are they doing it? What are they charging for? What are they offering? Like how are they getting paid? If they can get paid for it, so can you. But if you never look to see what it is they're doing or what they're getting paid for in that area, you won't know how they are offering their solutions. And just knowing who else is doing it and what type of money are they making? What type of money are they making? And exactly what is it that they are doing? So that takes me to my last point. So first, get clear on your ideal client. Who is your ideal client? What are the characteristics that they have? How are you solving their problem? And what results have you gotten? What is the transformation that you'll provide? And then the last thing, this is my last tip, y'all, and I hope this has been helpful for you. A lot of times we leave the school system, we decide that we're going to become entrepreneurs, we open our own business, we start consulting, or we take on consulting gigs for other companies, and we won't diversify our income with products and services. I'm going to say that again. The reason why you out here struggling in these streets, the reason why you out here don't know if you're going to be able to make mortgage next month, the reason why you out here looking at your bank account and confused as to why you got a 3-digit bank account and it should be a 5-6-digit bank account is because you will not take the time to diversify your services. You know how to do a workshop. And so you're trying to sell these workshops, but that's all you have. No, you got to have some ebooks. You got to have a course. You got to have some one-to-one coaching. You got to have a VIP day. It's all around the same thing. Now, let me be clear. Wait a minute, because I got some neurodivergent people on here. Let me get clear. We're not doing 20 different things around 20 different topics. If we're talking about dyslexia, and that's your topic, you're going to have a workshop on dyslexia. You're going to have a course on dyslexia. You're going to have an ebook on dyslexia. You're going to have a one-to-one consultation on dyslexia. You're going to have a VIP day for administrators or test coordinators for dyslexia. You're going to have maybe a t-shirt for people who are dyslexic. You might also have a mug. You may have a video series. So these are products and services where you can get paid even if you are not present. And then you're going to think about the services and products that you use, and you're going to get affiliate links for those products because you use them and you are recommending them. And because you are bringing new customers to their service, you should get a cut of that. Okay. So affiliate marketing is a thing. You know, I use these little timer things, and even like my little cup, look at my cup. I love giraffes. I love giraffes. And if you look inside of it, it has a message in it. It says stand tall and stand out. If I knew the company that created this cup, I could contact them and see if they have an affiliate link. I could show y'all this cup. Y'all know this cup is cute. Y'all know this is the cutest little coffee cup y'all done seen. Look at my little giraffe neck. And so I could talk about this, and I could say, if you're interested in this, go ahead and click the link in my comment section and get you one. Order one for your giraffe friends. And every time somebody orders one, I get a portion of that 10%, 20%, whatever the commission is from that. So this is what I mean by diversifying your income. And then once you have made your first six figures and you're on your way to your second six figures, you need to be seriously considering. Now, keep in mind, I do understand we have debt to pay because we've accumulated a lot of debt. So that first year when you make that first six figures, you're going to spend a lot of that paying your debt. You're going to be paying off credit cards. You're going to be paying off student loans. You're going to be paying off all that stuff. And you're going to be, you got to do a little something for you now. And you know, I'm all for you. Celebrate you because you did this. Celebrate you. Take you a couple of trips, buy that bag, get them Chanel earrings, whatever the thing is. We are no judgment zone over here. What you need to do to celebrate you, that's for you. That's not for other people. And we're not letting other people judge us on how we spend our money. Okay, that's the first thing we're not going to do. But then that second six figures that you're going to make, you need to be seriously considering, how do I scale this? How do I scale this business so I get paid even when I'm not working? When I'm on the beach, I'm making money while I'm laying on the beach. I'm making money while I'm laying on the beach. That is the goal. That's the goal. When I'm on the beach, I'm making money. I'm selling ebooks. I'm selling courses. People are setting up consultations for PD. Educators are setting up consultations to be able to work with me. You got to have some stuff to sell. I'm in the process of writing my first book right now. It's going to be a mega seller. I'm going to get lots of workshops, lots of conferences, lots of jobs, lots of podcasts from that book. You have to create the things that you want to bring income into your business. And that is the problem. We won't do the creation. We'll start creating, stop, go to the next thing. We don't see things through. Because again, we have not unbossed our life. If there's nobody standing over you telling you, no, you need to stop, you need to finish this. This is the deadline. You said you will be finished by February 29th. Today is the 28th. You're not finished. What are you going to do? We just keep pushing the date. We negotiate our dreams. We negotiate our goals. And that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Some of us need a hard kick in the butt. A mirror that's in front of your face, reminding you of what you said, what it was you wanted, what it was you didn't want, and letting you know you are the one that's holding you back. But instead, we get into communities where everything we do is to make you feel good. Oh, girl, well, that's okay. You will get it right next time. Girl, that's all right. You know what? It's hard out here. It's okay. We keep negotiating our goal. We keep moving the goal line. Whenever we don't meet the goal, we keep moving it and moving it and moving it. And then we end up in the graveyard and the dream died with us. We have to stop that, ladies. We got to stop that. If you know you are that person that jumps from thing to thing to thing to thing, you need to be in community with somebody who does not jump from thing to thing to thing and who's going to stop you from jumping from thing to thing to thing. And of course, you're going to get mad at that person. You're going to get mad at that person because that person is going to be telling you what you need to hear, but it ain't what you want to hear. I'm in an accountability group, people, and I get on their nerves. Do you hear me? I get on every nerve they own. I missed 2 sessions. It was scheduled, so I got it cleared. I missed 2 sessions. Don't you know, for that third session, they were on my email and on my text messages saying, wait a minute, are you going to be here this session? We didn't get nothing done last session. Where are you at? Why are you not here? Because we pamper one another, we baby one another. And especially if you're in a group with like-minded people who are just like you, you're not going to get any progress done because you need the other type of person. If you are a type A person, you need some non-type A people to balance that out because you're uptight. You work strictly off a checklist, off a schedule. Well, you need people who are going to tell you, let's have a little fun. Let's think about enjoyment. Let's think about celebration. And see, we need those people. Melissa said, your coaching in truth and love is what helped me finish my book. I am forever grateful. Yes, yay, Melissa. She finished that book. I'm telling you, and it does not always feel good. It doesn't always feel good. It's kind of like when you go to church and that pastor saying that stuff and it's hitting you right there in your stomach and you don't want to hear it. And then you get to thinking about, well, he wasn't saying that last week when he was getting in that court. Yeah, we get to deflecting. We get to trying to figure out how can I take this attention off of me and put it on somebody else. But no, you got to have that person who's constantly pulling that mirror back up. I tell my people, you was on social media all day. You watched the TV shows you wanted to watch. You were at your kids' games all week. You did all the things that you wanted to do, but you didn't do the things that you need to do. We are a society of people who have decided that supplying our wants are greater than supplying our needs. You need to finish that book. You need to finish that course. You need to finish those PDs. You need to pitch your services. You need to get into new groups. You need to do things that are going to bring income into your business. But you want to go to brunch. You want to watch the TV show. You want to check out what's on TikTok. You want to check that out. How many of y'all invested in Keith Lee and that drama that's going on now? That the lady from Sweetly Seasoned didn't get people their money. She didn't get them people their money. Or maybe you invested in the girl who helping the homeless man and done collected $250,000. You done watched every episode of that because TikTok is like the new TV time. How many of y'all was so into the random man from Atlanta? Was on every episode of it. Every time Morgan showed up, you was there. Every time a new baby came out, you was there. But you ain't got time to do the stuff in your business. That's why we end up back in the classroom. Every time an episode of Bridgerton showed up, you was there. You could clear your schedule to make sure that happened. You can go live and post 10 times a day. You can talk about everything that's going on. It's some of y'all right now who know everything about the Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj beef. Everybody know everything about when Taylor Swift and Beyonce was having, they wasn't even having an issue. The world was having an issue with them. Where did you get the time from? Where did you get that time from? Out of the time that you should have been using to stay out of that classroom. See, the reason why we go back to the classroom is because we have not taken the time to legitimize our business, our thoughts, our plan, to get with people who can help us and to make a declaration that I will not go back, to be willing to do the things that keep you out of the classroom, to unlearn some behaviors and to let go of the things that continue to keep us stuck. We have to stop allowing self-sabotage to take over us. It is the fear that we have of not knowing all of the things. You don't need to know all of the things. You just need to know your next step. Right here on this live that I'm about to end, I've given you lots of steps. If you don't know what your next step is, for those of us who are out of the classroom and you know that you need to bring income into your business, I've given you things right here. I've told you, you should be applying to conferences. And it doesn't just have to be education conferences. Let's be clear. It does not just have to be education conferences. Think about your skill and not that school system. We had a lady who, she's a world language teacher. And I think it was Nadine. And she teaches about cultural relevance and ESOL. And she was at a conference and a group of doctors invited her to their conference to speak to them about the cultural relevance because they have to have bedside manners. And if you are white and your client is Latina or your client is from wherever, you need to know what is appropriate and not appropriate when you're speaking to them because they get to have their own culture. She said, what she say? She misrepresented my hometown. Oh, who? Can you tell us who? Who misrepresented the hometown? So think about your client. I'm sorry, think about your skill. Think about your knowledge base. Think about your talent. Don't just think about a school system. It's so much bigger than the school system, y'all. And even if you just think about a school system, maybe this will encourage somebody. There are 132,000 school districts in the United States of America. I'm going to repeat that for you so that you understand the vastness of what we're talking about. There are 132,000 school systems in the United States of America, and sis, you can't even do 1% of them. 1% is too many. In reality, if your program or package is set up right, after 8 packages, you maxed out and your money is up. You are up. Do you hear me? If you got 8 packages, we're going to even go low ball. We're going low ball at $25,000. You just cleared $200,000. You're not gonna tell me you can't live good off $15,000 a month. That's not you. You're not gonna sit here and tell me that. That's what you're not gonna do. That you can't tell me $15,000 a month will pay your house note, your car note, your insurance, your entertainment, your travel, your groceries. $15,000 a month every month. Then when we get to 20,000 a month, girl, stop playing. We balling over here. When you get to 30,000, we just acting silly now. Now we just acting silly at 30,000 a month. But the problem is you don't believe that you can make 15, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month. And if I told you you can make 100,000 in a day, you swear to God I'm lying, but I can show you the proof. I can show you the proof. I didn't believe it either, but I couldn't believe it until I made 10,000 in a month. And then once I made 10,000 in a month, I said, wonder if I can make 15 in a month. Notice I didn't go to 20 because I didn't believe that I had made the 10. Then I said, let me try 15. I made the 15. I was like, I'm going to do a little bit more and see if I can get to 20. Got to 20. Went from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. And then I said, let me stop playing games. Let me see if I can make 100,000 in a day. It took me 6 months, but guess what? I did it. See, a lot of us think this stuff happens overnight. These ain't overnight stories. I had to first lose all of that stuff that I had been taught and trained in the school system that it takes 185, 190 days to make $70,000. When I left the school system, I was making $116,000. And baby, I was working 227 days out the year on paper. But in reality, I was working every day. I was working on the weekends. I was working on the evenings. That stuff wasn't true. They told me 227 days, and I got paid $116,000. No, I was working weekends. I was working holidays. I was bringing computers home. And so I thought the only way you can make 6 figures was in a year. It's not true, people. It's not true. Oh, Takenya said the food truck fiasco with Keith Lee in Dallas. Yes, I'm telling you. Like, we got to get our time right. We got to get our mind right. Like, we ain't got time to be scrolling TikTok, especially when you're in the building phase. Like, I can talk about this stuff now because I have a lot more time. I've created time freedom for myself. But trust me, when I was building this business, when I had left that school system and I left $116,000 on that table, and I told that superintendent that I wasn't coming back, and that last check was set to hit that account on July 1st was my last check. June 30th was my last day. I got a check on July 1st. That was it. It was over. Wasn't no more money coming in. I had to try to save that little money. Once that was done, listen here, I ain't got time to sit and watch Netflix. I ain't got time to be binging TikTok. I ain't got time to be on Facebook. I got to get out here and I got to get it. And it's not in a hustle mode. It's through understanding that I can't make income paying attention to other people's business. I need to mind the business that pays me. The business that pays me is going into these school systems and selling my expertise, gaining multiple contracts to take care of my family and my needs. And so I had to let go of some of those social things while understanding that if I do this right and get it done, I will be able to get those things back. So I didn't get to watch the Game of Thrones. Y'all know I love me some Game of Thrones. I didn't get to watch the Game of Thrones until the whole thing was over. And then I was able to watch every episode back to back to back to back to back. It took me like 2 weeks to watch every episode. But when it was out, I couldn't watch it. I was busy. My days were spoken for. I had to set boundaries. I had to say no to a lot of stuff. For those who have a problem saying no to people, tell people I need to say no to you in order to say yes to myself. Anybody who tells you that you need to say yes to them, they don't love you. They don't care about you. That's the best thing that you can ever say. I need to say no to you in order to say yes to myself. I had to stop doing things that no longer served me, showing up for stuff that did not support my new goals and my new dreams. One of the things that I tell you all about, baby showers. Baby showers are not supporting me. And you don't need me there. You really just want my gift. Me not showing up is not going to make the baby shower not go forward. So let's see. She says, got to close one door to open the next one. Absolutely. Yes. Jamila says, in the building phase, you are grinding. Yes. Takenya says, looking forward to my first 10K month. Let's go. Absolutely. And it's so easy. We have to attract the 10K month. And it's so much that we can talk about. We talk about attracting these things to us because people attract to our energy. And so if we have an energy of need and desperation, it's going to repel them. And so when we're clear about the type of people who we want to work with, they will attract themselves to you. People always say, Dr. D, how did you have a building of amazing teachers who were just a delight to work with? I attracted them to me. I attracted them to me. I said what it was I wanted. I talked about the things that I was going to move forward with. I talked about what it was that I love to do, how it is I wanted to serve. I gave no attention to things that I did not want, things that got on my nerves, pet peeves. I gave no attention to that. Too many of us are attracting the wrong thing because we're focused on the wrong thing. I love working with high achieving women. I make it clear, if you're not high achieving, I'm probably not going to work for you because I am a high achiever. I love to set goals, to meet the goals, and I love to dream big. I understand that abundance is your birthright. I understand that to my core. In my essence, it's no different than when I ask you, what is God? You can't really give it words, but you know exactly what it is. When I say, what is love? You can give some articulation of it, but it's so big, it's not enough words to give the full meaning of what love is. That's the same thing about abundance. Abundance is not just about money. It's about time. It's about resources. It's about people. It's about love. It's about relationships. It's about all things. And I understand that abundance is your birthright. And so I attract people who also understand that abundance is their birthright and those who want to grow in abundance. I attract them to me. And so when Takenya says she's working for her first $10,000 month, stop working for it. Welcome it in. Attract it to you. Do the work. Work without prayer without works is dead. So we got to do the work. But we're not doing the work in a hustle bustle type of way. We're going to attract to us our first 10K month. You're going to step into it and understand and believe, truly believe. February is my 10K month. February is my 10K month. My floor for the month of February is 10K. My 10K is in the vote. It's on its way. It's coming to me. It's making its way into my bank account. Let me see, what am I going to do with my 10K this month? Who am I going to serve? Oh my goodness, I can't wait to do this PD. I can't wait to do this lesson. I can't wait to share this knowledge with this group of people, and I'm going to bless their lives because I'm here to be a blessing for other people. Oh, girl, don't get me started. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me see what other notes we got. Um, the IEP coach says it's hard, it's scary, it's rewarding and fulfilling all at the same time. That's right. She said, make it plain, talk that talk. Jamila, the IEP coach, says yes to Kenya, 10K months, then moving on to 15 and up months. Absolutely. I am here to tell you it is real. All these people on here can tell you it is real. Y'all put some fire in the chat if you done made money through consulting. Put some fire in the chat if you have made money through consulting. Let the other people know that it's real. Some people don't believe that it's real. Yes, we have to mind our words. We are attracting things to us, and it's real. You have to believe it or nobody else will. And you cannot worry about what other people are going to say. Jamila done put her fire in the chat, and there's some other people in here. I see them names. Y'all need to get that fire in that chat too. And so that's right. Dr. Marquita says she putting her fire in the chat. It's possible, y'all. I'm telling you, it is possible. We cannot worry about what other people are going to say because we're worried about what our family and friends are going to say. And here's one of the things that I talked to someone the other day, because again, I'm on a consultation kick, so I get to talk to a lot of women. And she said, I have had probably 15 businesses last year. And I asked her, I said, so can you tell me why you have had 15 businesses? Why is it that you've been doing 15 things? And this is what I mean by the truth hurts. It can hurt. It shouldn't hurt. The truth should just be the truth. And sometimes it can hurt to hear the truth, but the reality of it is it's real. And so I said, can you tell me why you've had 15 businesses? So she talked about all the things that she was trying to do. And, I laugh and I joke a lot about all of these things that people will try to do. And it was true. Like everything that she said is the stuff that I say. And so she said that she had tried paparazzi. She tried Mary Kay. She did the Total Life Tea. She did insurance. She is doing real estate. She went through a whole list. Like when she said she had another MLM company that she was doing, and she went through this whole list. And I said, so tell me this. I said, so why? Like, tell me, what was your goal? And she was like, I just wanted to make some money. I needed to bring extra income into my household. I said, and so what place did that come from? And so it came down to she was in a desperate place. And so she was looking for the next get rich quick scheme. She was looking for the next thing that will bring her money. Well, each time she did that, she was going to her families and friends, telling them about the new thing, trying to get them to buy it. Girl, I got this tea that you can use to lose weight. Girl, if you buy this, the tea was $60 some. And she was like, she did that. Then she had the life insurance, and she went to the people and she was telling them, you need to get your family life insurance. Till it gets to the point nobody wants to deal with you because you've been doing too much stuff. Oh, she said she was a travel agent. She still had the travel agency. She said that it was another thing that she told me that she does. She said that she does consultations for dyslexia. And so that's kind of her area of expertise, dyslexia. She said that she's a parent advocate, so she advocates for parents. And the list just went on and on and on. It was literally at least 12 things, if not 15 jobs that she worked last year. And when I say last year, I'm talking about 2023. We're currently in 2024. And now she wants to go all in on consulting around dyslexia, but she's concerned that she won't be able to sell to anybody because she's done so many things. And every time she announces it on Facebook, Instagram, all of that, she does all this hoopla because she gets excited. And then she shares all this information. And then as soon as the excitement is over, it fizzles out. And then she doesn't do the things she needs to do to make money. And then it's just more stuff collecting in the background. She was like, if we were on Zoom right now, I could show you all of this paparazzi stuff, all of this Mary Kay stuff, all of this Total Tea stuff, all of this Avon stuff. She was like, my room is filled to capacity with all of this stuff. And I said, and you're spending money on all that stuff because they're not giving you that stuff for free. When really, if you just Stop. You are working out of desperation, and say to yourself, who is it that I can serve at a high level? What is the skill or talent that I have that will really support people? What is it that I love doing? And what is it that really lights me up? But the key to all of this is service. You will make money when you are serving people, solving high level problems. You cannot try to solve small problems and think you're going to be paid well. You need to solve high level problems and you will be able to charge high level price tags. Okay. And it can't be something that they can find on Google. It can't be something that is, you can just research it and it gives them the strategies for it. So a lot of times we need that professional credibility along with the research to really seal in the deal that you are the it thing. You are the one who has the ability. And let me tell y'all something. With these 8 billion people who are on this planet, baby, it's enough for all of us. It's enough for all of us. So just because one person is doing it doesn't mean that you can't do it, because it's enough for all of us. And so we can stay out of this school system. You left for a reason. You left for a reason, and we can lie to ourselves all we want to and say, I'm going back because I miss my summers. I miss my kids. No, you're going back because you got scared. You're going back because you couldn't control you couldn't unboss yourself or boss yourself, whichever way you want to look at it. You're going back because you were looking for contracts and handouts from other people to feed into your business. You're going back because you wouldn't offer your services and products in a productive way that brought money into your business. You're going back because you would not build that email list. You're going back because you treated your business like a side hustle or a side chick. That's not going to get you where you're trying to go. You're going back because you did not want to spend the time or money to market your business. You're going back because you quit too soon. You quit too soon. You're going back because you wanted to have all of the answers up front and did not want to fail, didn't want to have to work through anything, didn't want to do anything outside of your comfort zone. You're going back because you would not work or network with other business owners. You kept trying to do all the things you had previously been doing and maintain all of the relationships that you previously had and did not try to expand and bring in new relationships. You're going back into the school system because you keep enrolling in courses and classes and learning and never implementing the stuff and never saying, I've done enough learning. This is a period where I'm only doing product creation. This is a period where I'm only doing visibility. This is a period where I'm only working on making people aware of my business. This is a period where I'm only doing a product launch. That's why you're going back. You're going back because you're not clear on who your ideal client is and where you can find them. And you are going back because you have not diversified your income with products and services. Those are the reasons why you are going back. No other reasons. No other reasons. We let ourselves down. If it was for someone else, we will make it happen. But because it's for us and we have a backup plan, the backup plan is if it does not work out, I can go back to the school system. And so you took the backup plan. You need a plan A and a plan A. It's going to work or it's going to work. Plain, point, simple. It's going to work or it's going to work, because all work works. It's either going to work on you or it's going to work for you. And when it's working on you, it's showing you your business will only grow as much as you do. And when you are not growing, your business is not growing. And that's because we're too entangled in other stuff. We're too busy satisfying our wants and not tending to what needs to be done. We're too busy paying attention to other people's business and not paying attention to our own. We have to understand the process of reaping and sowing. When you plant a seed, it does not grow up, sprout out the next day. That's not how it works. So why would we only plant one seed? What if the squirrel comes and kicks the dirt off of it? What if the rabbit comes and eats that seed? Let's plant a whole row of seeds. As a matter of fact, how about we plant a garden of seeds? How about we do that? But guess what? In order to plant the seed, you got to actually get the seed, put it in the dirt, cover it up, allow the darkness to occur. In the darkness, you don't know what's going on. Y'all want to know every step of the way. You got to let go of that control, and you got to stop claiming this anxiety and all of these things that are not productive for you. Stop claiming that, girl. You know my anxiety messing up. Why are you claiming that? Focus on the things that we want. I can't wait for this seed to plant to grow. I can't wait for these peppers to hit this vine. Ooh, I'm gonna make me some jalapeno poppers. Ooh, I'm gonna put me some hot peppers in my soup. Focus on what it is that you want and let go of all of those thoughts about what it is that you don't want. And why is it that we only have these negative thoughts when it comes to our business? You do not wake up. It is not natural for you to wake up in the morning, get out the bed, head to the restroom, and think to yourself, oh my God, what if I fall and trip and hit my head on the corner of the wall and I'm in a coma for the rest of my life? That is not what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the restroom, and I'm gonna get my day started. So why is it that when it comes to your business, you're always thinking about what's going to go wrong, what's going to be bad, who's not going to buy, how much money you're not going to make, where am I getting clients from, why ain't nobody calling me, why this ain't working, why that ain't working? It's not natural. It's not natural. I'm just saying. I hope this helps. I hope this helps. Come join me every Saturday morning for a coffee chat, 10 a.m. on YouTube. Every Saturday morning, share this out with people who can use this live. Come on, y'all. Let's get this YouTube channel on and popping. Come on, I'm giving y'all good free content. Share this out. Let some people know about this. I appreciate y'all joining me today. Be back next Saturday at 10 a.m. and catch my series that I have going on February is Freedom Month. I'm giving tips to freedom, real tips, real things. I gave y'all real gems today. I got a series that I'm doing all month on Instagram and on YouTube. So join me. Thanks for joining me, y'all. Have a good rest of your day.